Hi there. Today I'm doing an equipment review about this item, the Galco Escort Fast Action Gunpack. And I bought this in 1991 when I attended my first ILFE, International Association of Law Enforcement Firearms Instructors, uh, International Training Conference at Mesa, Arizona. And a group of us all went to a local gun store briefly, and then to the fighter pilots aircraft museum, which is in Mesa, and then to a massive gun show, my first American gun show. And a group of us, about eight of us, I think, all bought the same Galco blue Escort gun pack. And I put a picture of a few of the guys there, and the guy who took the picture also was wearing one of these. So since then, I used it extensively. I found it very, very useful, um, particularly working in different parts of the world. And since we were disarmed, since Tony Blair took our handguns, I still wear it, and I wear it mainly when traveling and when flying. It's a useful piece of kit aboard aircraft. But obviously, I mainly want to talk about it for its intended purpose, which is a covert method of carriage for a firearm. So, briefly, the design features. It's made of very durable. I think it's ballistic nylon, and you have the strap, which is adjustable, goes around the waist, designed to be worn in the front for access to the firearm. There's a front pouch here, which you can carry sundries in. If you're carrying a firearm, then don't put long objects like pens in that front pocket because it stops the rip cord action from happening efficiently. That's just one little thing. So the paperwork is fine in there. Okay. Now, why I like this, and I like it better than a lot of the competitive designs, is the backing, and you can't really see it. I'll open it up and show you. Is a semi-rigid plastic plate. So what this does, it gives you the very important thing of stability. For a consistent access of a weapon, you need stability, and that's what this provides. So to act, and you'll see I've done a video when I was in the States on the use of this. So just briefly, you had this ripcord. Well, the ripcord is actually only that much. So I added a D-ring, and I added uh, one of these zipper pulls to it to give you that full hand grip. So it makes it much easier to access. So inside, and this is the other clever item of this particular design, is attached to the back plate, and I'll just show you. That's the plastic back plate. Attached to that is a neoprene holster, and it's kind of one size fits all. Now, I've never tested it to the extremes, but two weapons or three weapons I carried mostly in this were the P7, the SIG 228, and the Glock 19. So the Glock 19 is a compact pistol, goes in very, very well. I'm sure it would take a 1911 frame quite easily as well. You also have this strap which velcros the weapon into place. You don't need it. There's enough retention. The neoprene gives you fantastic retention. Plus, it's in a zip case as well. I think on the video I show you that I tend to use this to go over the rear sight to prevent snagging. Now, at one of the training conferences, there was a representative from Galco, not just a sales guy, but a guy actually worked for Galco. And I had a chat to him, and I give him a couple of suggestions on how to improve the design after having used it quite a lot. And one of the things was this: it's got these two little end pouches, which are very useful, and you can put bits and pieces in there. I would have liked this to have been longer to take a Surefire 6P or a Zulu, which I was using at the time, and it wouldn't do that. And the other thing was, I suggested that they should have a loop either on the back or a smaller one at each end, to secure the pack to your belt, your normal trouser belt, because in certain parts of the world, these things are a target to thieves, and they razor cut through the strap and have it away. If you had a loop here, it would still be on your trouser belt. So he said, well, we think we got this right, and he just wasn't interested in any modifications or improvements. Okay. Surefire themselves solved the problem by coming out with the more compact flashlight, which goes in here, the executive model. So that's what I carry in that end pouch. And still, aboard aircraft, I always have this in the end pouch, so you've got a flashlight on the aircraft. So they were a couple of little things that I discussed with Galco. They weren't open to it. Okay, so just have a look at the film of me explaining the features and the way the draw is done. It's a particular draw system specifically for this device. Okay, the technique of the weapon presentation from the Galco pack is based on use of the ripcord. The ripcord, which actually is only that much, it's best if you build it up with these tags, which are zipper pulls. And you'll notice that they fit into the hand. You've got two big index points, so you've got a fistful to grab. Again, making it a gross motor. Your chances of catching this are slim, so what we need as we build into anything is indexing. So from a normal position, we use the corners to index on the ripcord. You then do a violent diagonally downwards pull to expose the weapon. Hand comes in, gets a grip. Once the weapon's clear, the two hands can come together and we go onto the target. Just a look, you have a neoprene cover to a flexible plastic backing, a slot cut in, one size fits all. There is a little problem in that the end of the slide tends to snag here. Instead of using this retention strap to keep it in the slot, which you don't need, I tend to just use it to cover that there so the zippers run smoothly. So that's the technique for the Galco.
Recording.
Okay, so that's the Galco Escort in action. Um, just a final point, there are many other versions, and I was in a gun store in South Africa, and I was wearing this, and I had the P7 in it, and uh, the P7 just disappears in this. One of the guys who was in the who bought one of these at Mesa uh, absolutely worships the Glock. He was a Glock instructor, and he looked one day at this with my P7, and he said, "Den," he said, "I've got to admit," he said, "that P7 just disappears um, in the pack. You just got, there's no signature at all." So I was in this gun store in Joburg, and they were selling a thing they called a moon bag, and it was basically a local copy of the original DeSantis gunny sack, which was all made of nylon, and the closure was Velcro. You just ripped the Velcro front off, and the pistol was in there. And I think, if I remember rightly, it was a sort of nylon holster, one size fits all. Anyway, I was idly looking at this and thinking maybe I'll pick one up just to show guys the different types. And the owner came over and he said, "Yes," he said, um, the moon bag you were looking at," he said, "it is a really useful item of equipment." He said, "And unlike the pack you're wearing, you can carry a firearm in this." And I went, "Oh, that's very interesting." Anyway, I did buy it, but I didn't wise him up. So there are other models offered by different companies. I did have a pack that was sold by Eagle. It was similar to this. It wasn't quite the same. It was very well made, and the reason I bought it was tan in color. I wanted something different, and I want something that would blend in with the tan cargo pants I was wearing, just to reduce the signature a bit. I ended up actually giving it away to a friend who was on a protection detail in the Middle East, and he had more use for it. So, as I say, I fly with this. Uh, it's very useful. All stuff's on your body, and I found it very, very handy for that. Uh, I'm not sure if this particular model is still available. I know Galco do belt packs, but I'm sure you can find them somewhere. Um, and to my mind, it is the better option for this type of carriage.